Lady Coolwell Homes. Mr. Bill.
Hello.
What are we doing here?
We're at the SMMT test day.
Mr. Bill, didn't they see our last videos?
I hope so, but for those who didn't, we are here.
Well, welcome to slightly shambolic SMMT reviews.
Haven't got it right, you're one of us. Do you know do you know that you are known? Do you know do you know that you are known? It's important for you to realise that you are not gonna notice every person you ignore.
So here we are, viewers, in the brand new 2022 Suzuki S-Cross. This is the 1.4 Ultra ALLGRIP version with a manual gearbox. It costs around £30,000. We are at the SMMT day at Millbrook in Bedfordshire, where we've been driving a number of cars. This is actually the fourth one we've done. I say we because I'm with Mr. Bill and Lady Coolwell Homes from the Fuel Power channel. So there have been previous S-Crosses before. The first generation was just called the SX4, and then this second one, which came in 2013, was called the SX4 S-Cross. This car is badged as the SX4 S-Cross, but it is just referred to by Suzuki as the S-Cross. Lloyd Vehicle Consulting t-shirts, mugs and stickers are now available. Please click on the Google link in the description below to purchase your very own. It has a 1.4 litre mild hybrid power unit generating 129 horsepower. It's actually the same unit, but it's in a lot of different cars, such as the Swift Sport and also the Vitara. There is actually another version of the Vitara now from when we tested that back in September at the SMMT driving day in Basingstoke. It's got a 1.5 hybrid unit. But this feels fast enough. 0 to 60 in this is about 10.2 seconds. We're going to take it to the fourth lane of this high-speed bowl and just go at about maybe 75 miles an hour. We'll just go about 75 for this. And it feels pretty good. Steering's weighting up nicely actually on here. Don't obviously do 75 on a public road, viewers. That would not be good. You would end up with a speeding fine. But on here it feels remarkably composed, very easy. For such a tall car, it feels very good. This platform is known for being both lightweight and also very strong, and certainly in the Vitara it does feel very good to drive. With the motion trim that comes with front wheel drive and a 6-speed manual for about £25,000. The automatic version of this Ultra trim with the 4-wheel drive is about £31,000. It feels just like, you know, we're in the kind of outside lane of a motorway, but this is a very deserted motorway because there doesn't seem to be anybody else on it. I was surprised actually how stable this car is feeling. It's not at all how I expected. I expected it to be very light, even at this kind of speed, at about 75. But it's not. Just stick on my cruise control. I wish there was someone else on here with me, because then I could test out the adaptive cruise control. But of course I can't. the previous S-Cross that I drove, which was in 2017, had a 1 litre 3-cylinder engine, 110 horsepower, and a 5-speed manual, and that it felt pretty good. Don't get me wrong, but it doesn't feel like this. This feels just really, really nice and stable, which just for a sort of family car like this, one that you can fit loads of stuff in, it's really quite remarkable. So the brand new 2022 S-Cross, it's actually based on the same platform as before, and the same platform as the current Vitara, and we've got actually 2 current Vitaras here today, and actually we drove one of those on the last SMMT driving day, which was back in September in Basingstoke. So it does actually look quite different from before, even if there are a lot of shared elements. I really like this colour, by the way. It's absolutely beautiful. The car we've got on test is in the Ultra trim. This is around £30,000 with a manual gearbox. This has 4-wheel drive. The model below is called the Motion, which starts at about £25,000. That's front-wheel drive. You can see it is a hybrid, well, it's a mild hybrid actually, this car, and it's got the all-grip system in it. The boot is 430 litres. See if I can just get the thing there. There we go. I love this sparkling metallic paint. Adjustable height boot floor, just like the previous car had as well. I think the boot's actually marginally bigger this time round. It's not that different, but it is a little bit bigger. There we go. There's the adjustable floor in there. I'll just pause a second whilst I sort this out so we can have a look at the things which are below. The autofocus is playing up, I'm afraid. Hopefully it will settle down a bit. Hello, there we go. It's not got a spare wheel in there. I think you can get one of those as an option. 60/40 split rear seat. It is a pretty good space for this sort of car. Obviously we've got the boot floor up here just to make loading a little bit easier. We haven't got that much stuff with us today, so that's obviously good. Mustn't forget me secret mission documents. Fortunately I've been given a press sheet, so hopefully I won't be making too many mistakes today, although mistakes are just the way it sort of goes on this channel, I'm afraid, viewers. So climbing to the back, I remember sitting in a previous generation S-Cross I drove about 5 years ago, and I remember it being quite spacious. This also feels very spacious. I think the chap who's been driving this before me, it was rather tall, and still, the one thing I would say about this car, and I had a similar criticism about the Vitara, which this is actually based as well, is the headroom with this panoramic sunroof is not very good. If I slouch a bit, it'll get a little bit better, but it's just not as good as I would quite expect. Even there's, you know, more headroom in a Swift Sport than this, which is a little bit disappointing. Knee room's perfectly fine. There's even indentations in here to put your knees, and it's got some nice features in here. It's got the very nice centre armrest, and because we've got the Ultra trim, we have, I think this is either Artico or it's real leather in here. I'll check that in a second. There are nice big places in the door bins for things. The quality is better than before. It's still not quite ideally what I would like. Some people are really not fussed about hard touch plastics and the rear of cars and things, and it's quite typical of many competitor models to have this sort of thing in here, but I just think it's a shame that they've chosen not to put that in. Right, I'll just admire this lovely panoramic roof. We might get that blind open in a little while, but we'll go into the front now. So keyless entry on this car, of course. Doors feel very light. A lot of Suzukis do feel quite light. That does help the fuel economy somewhat. And the reported one for this is in a region of about 52 miles per gallon. So in between that and sort of 48 to 52. I have just checked, and this is actually real leather on the steering wheel and real leather on the seats, and yeah, it does feel very good. multi-stage heated seats as well, dual zone climate control with a nice physical lot of buttons here and knobs, and that is much better, I think, than the systems that a lot of manufacturers now fit, which are integrated into the touchscreen. Like a lot of Suzukis, nice manual handbrake. This is the 6-speed manual. There is an automatic version available as well, but everything does feel quite familiar if you're a Suzuki owner. I mean, things like the switches, the door handles, the steering wheel controls, even the stalks are very similar, but lots and lots of equipment. Automatic lights. Got automatic wipers in this as well. Adaptive cruise control. Bluetooth. In fact, if we've got the key in here, which we have, we can just sort of turn her on, and we will just take a look at the entertainment system whilst we're here. It's a much better system than the old sort of 7-inch touchscreen used to be. And actually we've got a surround view camera that seems to be enjoying itself right at this moment. I think we might have to kind of cut its fun out in some way, but there we go. Yeah, that's wonderful. Do not operate your unit while driving. Well, I'm not driving at the moment, am I? The lady from Suzuki's iPhone just paired to it. That obviously works. So we've got big, nice graphics on this. Obviously, being the Ultra, we've got sat nav in here, and it's just a nice big system. So much nicer than the previous system that I've seen in so many Suzukis since 2017. It was all right when that was launched, but it's now a little bit dated, and this is so much nicer. So radio, got Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, and actually I can turn on the surround view camera any time by just putting that button there. Well, I don't know why it's not. Do I have to hold that down or something? No. I wonder why it's not doing it. It's because the boot is open or the door's open or something. So there we go, dual zone climate control. I'm going to be turning that down because I do not need it to be hot in here today at all. That's really not what we need. There we go. Similar unit is fitted to the current Vitara, and so is this gear lever. See if the secret mission documents actually do fit in here. I really hope they do, viewers, because I get annoyed if they don't. Yes! I like it when a plan comes together. Okay, let's just turn it off using the button there. There we are. We've got, you know, various sort of things on here. We've got a motion sort of sensor. In fact, if I just turn it on again without starting the engine, there we go. There we go. We don't want to entirely start it. We just want to go through here. Unfortunately, this wheel's a bit skewed, so it's a bit difficult to see. But yeah, you can see that's just cycling through and everything. And hopefully we'll be able to sort of scroll through some of the menus and things. There you go, average fuel economy. Let's just focus this properly. Wonder why that's not doing anything. Oh, I know what it is. It's this button here, isn't it? Let's see if it's this one. Yes. Yes, it's one thing that they carried over from the old car and also the Vitara that I'm not massively keen on, perhaps, is the fact you've got to press this button here to cycle through the menus on the instrument panel, which I think is really strange. I don't know why you can't just press a button on the steering wheel. There we go. There's the average fuel economy, 87 hours. Idling fuel save, that's the date. Motion sensor, then the torque and power gauges. I can't show those to you because you know, I have to hold the phone while driving, which is a bad idea. Yeah, that's pretty good. I did say we'd get this this blind back, and there we go. We can put it all the way back. Let's see if we can actually get the roof open. Yes, there we go. It goes all the way open like that, and the wind deflector pops up. Fabulous. Wow, it goes all the way. That view is absolutely brilliant. Also, as good as storage, you've got cup holders here, storage compartment just in there. Door bins are not the biggest I've ever seen, but they're Okay, and down here we've got physical control, so things like the stop start, traction control, lane keeping assist, and the forward collision detection and AEB. I think you can turn that off as well. And you can turn off the front and rear parking sensors. It's pretty good, isn't it? It's very well equipped, and also they put this sort of leather effect stuff on the dash and make it look a bit nicer. That's actually squishy, which is good, because unfortunately that's still a bit hard, but it's a much nicer dash than before. It's a huge advancement, and well, I like it. I agree. So this is the same engine as was in the Vitara we tested back in September. It's a 1.4 booster jet known as the K14D, generating 129 horsepower. It's a 4-cylinder unit with mild hybrid assistance. Actually, it looks like there's a lot of room to work on the engine. It looks kind of lost in this engine bay. I don't know in other markets whether they have a slightly bigger type of engine, but this looks, it's really easy to get to. Look, the gearbox is just there. We'll have various different batteries in here, but Suzuki's actually do have a really good reputation for reliability, and this engine's been in cars now for quite a number of years, in slightly different forms than in mild hybrid, but I think it was launched about 2016 with the original Vitara S. So yeah, it's pretty good. And this car looks, with its sort of fog lights and in this lovely kind of dark blue metallic colour, it does look rather nice. So nice, in fact, it's time to go for another drive. The starting price maybe is not so kind of sort of conducive to some people, but it is what cars like this cost these days. There has actually been a general kind of increase in price. So we're going to just come off this high-speed bowl now, because it's not representative of the way that you drive most of the time, and we'll go back onto some more kind of typical roads, I think. One thing I'm really appreciating is this panoramic sunroof, although it does rob a bit of headroom from you. I don't think the Motion, which is the version below this, actually comes with that. One thing I've noticed is the ride's really compliant. It's really good. It's got a good mixture of kind of nice, kind of stable steering, but also a good compliant ride, which for a car like this is the ideal sort of combination. If you want the sort of dynamic little darty hot hatch, then Suzuki will sell you a Swift Sport with this particular powertrain in it. But as far as most people are concerned, and most people who have a family and things like that and want a few more extras that you get in a Swift Sport for not that much more money, then this car actually is really good. Very much enjoyed it. Anyway, thank you ever so much indeed for watching this episode of slightly shambolic SMMT reviews. Thank you to Mr. Bill and Lady Cobble Holmes for accompanying me today. Please do watch their reviews. We'll also be on the Fuel Power channel, because they have just taken the Swift Sport out. And thank you ever so much indeed once again for watching.
Every time you haven't got it right, you're one of us.